there were 42,800 and something people
At the game.
At the game.
That's a good turnout.
There was about 1,500 tickets sold for
San Diego
State, the Aztecs.
Mm-hmm.
And
who were favored.
They were favored.
Big favorite.
And there were 41,000
Cajuns
of the Cajuns there. There was red all over town. Well, anyhow, the game. We have a couple of pictures of the game. Let's show those right away, and then I'll.
Give me 1 sec while I hit the right button. Let's start. See, here I go. It is here. How about here? Let's start there, Matt. I was going to say Mark.
That's the Champions Square.
Welcome back, kids.
This picture was taken with my cell phone, by the way, and
like
that
you were
is
jumping to celebrate.
Yeah, that's prior to the game,
right?
And it's a beautiful area to cut up. That's
not
later. That's at the end.
Right, well, let me jump around some more.
That's part of my weekend.
Photo.
That friends from our area here celebrating, and of course that was I think the day after. No, that was the day of the game. The afternoon of the game.
And I got this photo.
Yeah, and that young couple. You asked me who they were next to Vicky. Don Stelly and Albert Simeon Jr. And another young man, and I can't think of his name, met us while we were waiting in line to get into the stadium. And it ended up that they were near where we were sitting up in the suites. And they reached over and told, "Hey, Mr. Bobby, how you doing?" Well, this little couple here started calling me Mr. Bobby, and real nice. Well, everybody, they go there for one thing, and that's to have a good time.
Right.
And the Cajuns had a good time. And here is, of course, on the left, that's Bobby, and this is Cherie, and her son was number 21, Lance Kelly, Kelley spells it, and the young lady on the right is Madeline. And they're good friends from the Lafayette area. And, of course, Megan's on the left, Will and Amanda. And Amanda is a daughter of Paula and Mike Mills in Opelousas. Right. And this is Mr. and Mrs. Paul Gilbo. He is the owner of Thriftaway Pharmacy in Carencro, Louisiana.
Good morning.
And he's the proud grandfather, and she's the proud grandmother of Lance Kelly. In other words, Cherie is their daughter. And I have another picture.
Megan's cutting up. Huh?
Yeah, yep.
And Miss Vicky?
Miss Vicky was there having a good time. And this is Cherie. And this young man here is from Carencro. He's Glenn Fall. He's a pharmacist at Kmart in Lafayette. I think, hopefully I'm saying it right, or Target, maybe Target.
Yeah.
Maybe Target. And also he fills in part-time for Mr. Paul Gilbo at the Thriftaway in Carencro. We just had a great time.
And the trophy
by the way,
presentation,
Mr. Paul, I asked Mr. Paul if he knew Don Stemmons. He said, Don Stemmons and I finished high school together.
No kidding.
I said, I didn't know Don had finished high school. Joking,
Yeah,
joking.
you go.
And I told that to Don this morning when I spoke to him prior to taping.
There's Coach Hud getting the trophy?
Yep, getting the trophy. You're right.
And then we got...
And this was checking out Sunday morning. Pat McDonald from Opelousas originally, but he lives in Lafayette now. And of course, his mom and daddy owned the Opelousas Candy Wholesale, and Mr. Joe and Miss Mildred McDonald. And Miss Mildred was in love with Bobby Dupre. She would drop things off, all kind of articles she had that of people I knew in the Lafayette area, like Don Bros, boxing days in high school, and just all kind of things. Just wonderful people.
You had the Marriott here?
This is the J.W. Marriott on Canal, and this young man, I think, is Tim, and he's his relations to our area is the Dupuis that used to own the Dupuis in Paconnière.
You stretching me out.
Silver Slipper.
The
Silver Slipper and the Robans and the Moros. I mean, kin to everybody down here. Just a fine, fine young man. And by the way, good morning to you, because he's going to be watching the program.
There's the clock at Whitney.
Whitney is across the street from the hotel.
Oh, yeah. They got everywhere they are, they got a clock. Look, Coach.
We're coming out of Mass on Sunday.
At St. Louis Cathedral.
At St. Louis Louis Cathedral. It was a huge crowd. The usher told me he guesstimated it at 1,300. I said, what do you normally have? Oh, he says, way less than 1,000 on a regular mass. He says, the only mass bigger than this is Christmas Day.
I believe that.
He says, then we have a little bit more than this, but this was
that's Coach Blanco and Governor Kathleen Blanco?
Kathleen Blanco. Everybody was talking to him, and they let me take a little quick picture there. And of course, she was very good to me. She named me to the Racing Commission and the Louisiana Boxing Commission.
And I've told a story before that I called to talk to one of the people that worked for her some years ago, and he was out that day, and the next morning before 6 a.m., I got a call with a lady on the phone that says, who is this? I said, this is Andrew. I said, is that you, Governor? She said, yes, it is. I just wanted to make sure if you needed something, I don't want to wait till he came back. And I mean, she, we've met, but I mean, she doesn't know me. And
is that the kind that's the kind of calls you get with the Governor Agenda?
I've never gotten a call back from Governor Agenda, but Governor Kathleen did make the call back.
No,
so
she's a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah. That's the new bridge.
The new bridge in St. Francisville. It's actually prior to getting to St. Francisville coming from Baton Rouge.
Ferry.
But a beautiful structure. If you haven't been there and you're in that area, please take a moment to ride over it. And this is the
River Bend. The
nuclear power plant.
And then you got a little sunset going. Let's see if I can find you some more photos. I know you took a lot of other photos. I'm going to jump to here. You went to, this is at Landry's?
This is after Mass at St. Louis Cathedral. That's Landry's in the French Quarters. And this is Stephen, who did a beautiful job, a heck of a good little worker. And Stephen, good morning to you. And of course, this is our own local from Leonville, Louisiana, Mr. Floyd Degater and his lovely wife. And I told her the last time that we had met, when I was introduced to her, was at a fundraiser for Mr. Walter Como when he was the parish president of Lafayette. We were at the Hilton Hotel.
And you remember that?
And I remember that. And of course, Floyd owns CLM Equipment, a big, large construction equipment company with offices also in Texas.
And you went by Sweet Potatoes? Where
yes,
you
sir.
Went
I went to Earl Fontenot Jr., better known as Earl Jr., and his son Larry, E&L Produce in Grand Prairie, Louisiana. And let me get my name straight over here. This is Mr. Denny Trahan. And I said, would you be kin to Mr. Lanny Trahan, the racehorse man? He said, that's my daddy, boy. We could go on with a story right there. And of course, this is just to show you that Ray does work. He had ridden with me over there, and we loading them up into my pick-em-up truck. And this is Peter Wood. He says, Mr. Bobby, I know you well. I said, do you really? He said, you took such good care of our friend Pete Labbe. They all called him around
we
in the
called
Bellevue.
Him Gene Labbe.
We called him Gene, but they called him Pete.
Right.
And I have such fond memories. He died August the 8th, 08. I still remember that date like it's... and we've got that nice big...
board with all the pictures
of the good times and right there when he was in the hospital. And this is Mr. Kevin Swallow, appears to be the manager there.
Yep.
And then this is one of the workers there, Mr. Aaron Wilson, and they all watched the Bobby Dupre show. So good morning to all of you out there in the Grand Prairie area.
Now, this is a picture from New Orleans, too.
No.
Okay. Where's this one at?
That's it.
Lafayette.
Kiki in the River Ranch.
River Ranch.
Kiki Carr Freyard. Now, she's married, but Kiki Carr is in Opelousas. She's from Opelousas. Beautiful young lady. I've got a picture in a minute. This is Kiki on the left and her lovely daughter, Katie. And she owns, and it's just Kiki. That's all the advertisement says. Basically, it's apparel for the women.
Right.
Was that the right word?
And they dress nice. Yeah, that's a good word.
Jewelry and all these kind of things. I got a tap on my shoulder, and it was none other than Gwen Hidalgo. And Gwen says she watches the Bobby Dupre show. I said, well, you see, you have an advantage. But now, I told her son, I think his name is Taylor. I told him, I said, you know what we called your mama? And before he could think, probably had heard it, I said, we called her Blackie. That's what her daddy, Mr. Gerald Hidalgo, called her. Gerald and Earlene. Boy, we had some good time with those kids. We'd make Gerald and Earlene, Adelaide and I would make them go out on Friday or Saturday night for a night out so we could rock those babies and have fun with them. 5 little girls.
Now, we got some other New Orleans pictures.
Oh,
This is
yes.
the World War II National Museum, which it's worth going to see. Worth
Oh,
every...
it is worth it. And if you go, please make sure that you go and watch the movie.
Oh, the movie's excellent.
Excellent. They call it Across the Street, but it's right, all on the
They
same
call
piece
it
of property.
4D. You don't have to put any special glasses. It's interactive. Things happen around you. It snows inside.
The seats
seats
shake when they drop the bombs.
neat.
I mean, it is beautiful. It's
And
called Beyond All Boundaries. And the young
go see the movie
actor
before you
is
go in. Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks,
Yep.
who plays a role in the development of this particular.
And he's a narrator and donates a lot of money to help. So, good God.
Oh, it was
And they
a
got
wonderful. I guess we spent 3 hours there. Vicky
historical
and I.
reenactors there with the old Jeeps and in the American GI uniforms. And there you are with a
motorcycle,
with a
yep.
sidecar,
Side-
a bouncing Betty. Go ahead. Look at that, boy. You should have rode it around a little bit to test it out.
Well, I think they'd have stopped me.
And then what we got? We got a German on the left. We got a U.S. guy in the middle, and we got an English guy on the right. I guess I'm not sure that's English or American. It might be American on the right too. But the whole big crew there, all the reenactors that show up. It's very, very neat. And then you got some of the UL fans that came.
And this young lady, and I didn't write my note down. She had someone worked at our office. But anyhow, I apologize, and they watched the program. Good morning to you all. Sorry about
nice
that.
picture you at the Roosevelt Hotel looking at all those decorations for Christmas, huh?
Yeah, they didn't put the white
Not as much.
Remember they used to
They'd flock it. They'd flock
right.
the whole thing.
They didn't do that.
Huh.
But anyhow, the Hilton owns it now, and I understand they're doing a lot of renovation and really bringing it up to the class it was when it was built at the turn of the last century.
Well, come on back to us, Matthew, and we're getting down to the end before our 3-minute break here for TV and radio. We appreciate everybody watching the first half. We're going to have a whole lot more to show the second half, so we'll see you folks on the other side of 3.